What's up guys, it's your boy Tricky and you are welcome to Man's Physique Update and a very happy new year to you all. 2021 was an okay year for Man's Physique. Personally, I got put off by the politics in the division and that kind of took out the wind from my sail. I didn't make a lot of videos last year. We basically abandoned the YouTube channel, but then we realized we weren't doing this for the federation and weren't doing this for the judges or the Olympia. We were doing this for the athletes and for the fans. And even though we abandoned the YouTube channel, we kept the Instagram going. If you don't follow us on Instagram, follow us now at Man's Physique Update, and don't forget to follow my personal page at TrickyXO. There's a lot of politics in Man's Physique, and I realized if I don't talk about it, nobody will. Plus, if I don't talk about it, I'll end up not making videos ever again, because we don't get paid for this. We do this purely out of the love we have for the division. And you might ask, what the fuck is he talking about? Well, to make it easier for you to understand, let's take some of the shows in 2021 and compare the placings and results of some of the athletes. Then we'll dissect the problem into pieces and properly analyze it, and then maybe you will understand. Let's start with the first show of 2021, which is the Houston Tournament of Champions. At first place we had Kali Quarte. He came in looking sharp as hell and definitely deserved the win. Aaron Banks was second place. Ahmed Abdigalil took third place. Ruben Glass fourth place, and at fifth place we had George Brown. But this has nothing to do with first to fifth place. The problem is at 12th place was Corey Morris. Looking at his physique as a pundit, he should have definitely placed higher than 12th place. It was almost like he was forgotten about, and that really got to him. He knew the judges were taking the piss, but what can he do? Nothing. Later that day he posted this on his Instagram, and I'm gonna read this off his Instagram. He said, "What's the saying? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This weekend had me wondering, WTF, LOL. But that's how things go sometimes. That's how things go. Sometimes the worst happens and it will have you looking like WTF. But I'm competitive and always up for a challenge. So it's 2.5 weeks out from Wasatch Warrior Pro and I'm looking forward to improve. BTW. By the way, at Houston Tournament of Champions was a great show, and I had fun and enjoyed hitting the stage with many pros that are great friends of mine. I'll be back, but with a much better outcome than 12th place." So as you can see, he wasn't happy about the results. But then again, what can he do? Nothing but pick himself up and move on. Now, it wasn't just him that was wronged that day, but I won't go into all of that. Still, I want you to remember Tommy Clark, okay? He placed 11th that day. Just hold that thought, okay? Hold Tommy Clark, hold it. Fast forward 2.5 weeks later, at Wasatch Warrior, Corey Morris took first place. Aaron Banks took second place. George Brown placed third. Rodrigue Chesney placed fourth. And Lamont Patillo placed fifth, okay? It's as if someone figured out they made a mistake by putting him 12th place 2.5 weeks before at the Houston Tournament of Champions. But then again, it was a deserving win. Corey came in even sharper than before and won the show. But when you look at it technically, you ask yourself, how are these judges judging these shows, you know? Is anyone holding them accountable for their decisions, or are they almighty and they can make whatever decisions and get away with it? And don't get me wrong, it's not about winning. It's not about placing top 3, but placing 12 when you know you could have done better, when you know you deserved a much better placing, can be very demoralizing. And when you take the results from 2021, you can see the athletes were just being tossed around all over the place. You can see that there were no structure, no regulations. It's just judges doing whatever the fuck they wanted, you know. I'm not trying to discredit them or say they don't know what they're about, but when there's no structure and everything is left to human intervention, then there are bound to be mistakes. And I have listened to Coach's Corner on Ben Quayle's Instagram several times, and I've had coaches say this judge will be judging the show and he likes much bigger guys, or if it was this other judge, he would have given more points to much smaller guys because he likes detail and you know. Who in the world will take this division or sport seriously if the results of every competition depends on what judge is in the office that day? Tell me, who in the whole world will take the division seriously if the results of a competition is dependent on what judge is judging the show? Why can't the federation set rules and tell us what the perfect men's physique is, so that all athletes strive to get to that place? Tell us the height, the weight cap, the look, the structure you want in a men's physique athlete. Because at the end of the day, if men's physique and classic physique athletes look the same, then there's no point in having both men's physique and classic physique, and one has to go. And don't tell me men's physique athletes have much smaller legs, because that's bullshit. And some judges will go the length of even taking points off some of the athletes because they have great legs. Oh yeah, some of them do that because athletes have incredible legs, so they take points from the athlete for competing in men's physique. Remember Tommy Clark? I told you to hold that thought. Remember Tommy Clark? Well, he placed 11th at Houston Tournament of Champions. 4 weeks later, he went to Pittsburgh Pro and competed in classic physique. And guess what? He placed 4th, okay? From 11th in men's physique to 4th place in classic physique. And after the show at Pittsburgh Pro, he posted this on his Instagram. I'm just going to read off his Instagram. He said, "I kept silent as I made my transition because I needed complete focus for this. A week after Houston Tournament of Champions, which was 4 weeks ago, I decided enough was enough. I outgrew the division that helped me find bodybuilding, and it was time to move on to classic physique." It was a very lengthy post, but I'm going to just read till here. You can always go on his Instagram at 2tontommy and read the rest for yourself. So he decided enough was enough, and as we all know, he went on to do amazing in classic physique. He even qualified for the Olympia, okay? But if he had stayed in men's physique, he would have kept going shows to shows and getting shit placing. All because of politics, all because of the politics in men's physique. He also noted that he had outgrew the division. Ask yourself, how many men's physique athletes today feel that way? And how many athletes do you feel have outgrew the division? And how do we know? There's no way of knowing, because there's no weight cap, nothing. There's no structure, no regulations, there's nothing. Okay, anyone can just come into men's physique and compete. And year after year, show after show, all the judges keep telling athletes is put on more size. It's always put on more size. I hope that nonsense won't continue this year. Now, there was a lot of errors in placing last year, but there was a particular one that really made me lose it. So on the 19th of June at the DC Pro, Brett Mario took 4th place. 2 weeks later, 2nd July, at the Orlando Pro, he took 8th place. He then went on to Norfolk Pro, where he placed 2nd. this is where it gets disheartening. Okay, so Norfolk Pro took place on the 17th of July. His next show was Chicago Pro, which took place on the 23rd of July, just a week apart. And he went from second place on the 17th of July at Norfolk Pro to 16th place on the 23rd of July at the Chicago Pro. 17th July to 23rd July, and he went from second place week 1, and then on week 2 at the Chicago Pro he went back to 16th place. At this point I realized there was way too much politics in Men's Physique. I just couldn't keep making videos about these shows anymore, because like I said, we do this out of our own free will, okay, and we are not getting paid for this. And on that day the judges definitely took the piss. They definitely took the piss. I mean, I did some digging around and I found out that a judge whose name I don't want to mention said they forgot Breath Mario was at the show. Someone who placed second place a week before came to the show, gave it all they had, and a judge said they forgot Breath Mario was at the show. Guys, I cannot make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up, guys. It's like he already had the results in his hand before he even came to the show, and he did not care who was going to show up. He was going to go by whatever list he came from home with. And I mean, are we serious? How is anyone going to take Men's Physique seriously if grave mistakes like this are being made? And I bet they didn't know people were watching. They probably thought they got away with it. But Men's Physique Update is always watching, and we are always keeping tabs on the judges, on the shows. Every mistake we take note. We might not report it as soon as possible, but we will definitely report it. But then again, why are we putting all the decisive power into the hands of judges? Why can't we take some of it and give it to the fans, you know, or give the judges a sort of rules to follow, so that everybody, let's say if they have a set of rules, everybody knows these are the rules that the athletes are judged by, so the judges can't just, you know, do whatever they want, thereby not making mistakes like this. And did you know that more often than not, you have to kind of pay your dues before you place higher in shows? Let's say you just turned pro. No matter how good you look, most shows and most judges will never give you first place. You have to pay your dues. You have to place maybe second a couple times, or maybe third a couple times. As long as there's a more popular name in the show, you are not going to win. You have to place, you know, maybe top. It depends on how good you are. You have to place maybe top 5 a couple times, or you have to have like some fucked up places before they start putting you on, which is ridiculous. Like, why does anybody have to pay their dues if they have worked hard enough to deserve a placing? Let me put it this way. Imagine if there's no rule of law, okay, and all the powers have been given to the police, and they've been told, go out there and keep the peace and set the rules as you go. Imagine how disastrous that's going to be. Imagine every power given to the police, and they're told, just go out there, do whatever you want, you are the law, do whatever you want, and they are not held accountable for anything they do. We all know how disastrous that's going to be. So why are we using this archaic method of judging in today's world? It's no secret, and it's not an attack on judges, but wherever humans are left to make decisions, there's always going to be human feelings and emotions involved. And where there are human feelings, there are friendship and bonds which are always formed. And if you're a good friend with the judge, I don't think he's going to do you dirty. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but I can imagine the ass kissing going on in these competitions, you know, because apart from training and looking your best, you now have to make sure that the judges like you. It's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work, guys. And imagine if you and a judge like the same bikini girl. You and a judge chasing after the same bikini girl. Bro, you ain't going nowhere. Your career is going nowhere. You're going to place 16th till you quit competing. That is how bad it is. And the alarming part is when judges make mistakes, there's no structure. There's nobody which has been set aside for athletes to register their displeasures and complaints. There's nothing like that. You just have to take whatever results you get and move on with your life. I mean, the IFBB has been around for a long time, but how do you petition or address issues like this when you know you've been wronged? There should be structures put in place for athletes to definitely register their displeasures, and these structures need to make sure that judges do not get onto athletes for standing out for themselves and saying, no, I know I deserved a much better placing and I feel like I was wronged. You should, go back to the videos, take a second look at it, and then tell me something sensible or something reasonable. There should definitely be structures in place for things like that. And if you are a judge and you're watching this, do not forget that it's people's lives and livelihood that are on the line. You need to be more responsible when you are judging. We don't need results that are all over the place like this. Men's Physique deserves much better, way better. I know a lot of people will agree with me, and much more people will disagree. But if, like me, you agree that we need to create change in men's physique where all athletes are treated equally, then go ahead and share this video. Tag as many people as you can, athletes, judges, the IFBB, the Olympia body, the Arnold Classic, the sponsors. Tag everyone and let them know there is a problem in men's physique, probably in bodybuilding as a whole, but we talk about men's physique. Let them know there is a problem in judging in men's physique, and they need to set structures that will make results more credible. I have a whole lot to say, but I don't want to make this video a very long one. Okay, I might just make a part 2 of this video. Let me know if you want to see a part 2 of this video. And do not think we're doing this to target judges or anything of that sort. Okay, we live in a very modern world, and there need to be changes as we move on. We can't keep using the archaic method used in the 70s and the 50s and the 60s. We need to put in place new structures that is going to help make results credible. So this video is not directed to judges. It's not meant to discredit them. Okay, like I said, I might just make a part 2 of this video. Let me know if you want to see a part 2. Thank you for watching. It's your boy Tricky. This is Men's Physique Update. Peace.